Got a good question from our friends over at reddit.com/r/magic. You should visit them. They're good peeps. This one comes from Luo Pinto, who says, "Hey Brian, just wanted some practical advice to overcome my terrible performance anxiety. I don't have social anxiety. I just get really anxious when performing to more than one person, even though I practice a lot and have decent slight skills." Yeah, man, look, turns out there's 2 times you practice anything in magic. You practice for yourself or in the mirror, you get your fingers to do the job. All of that goes right out the window the first time you perform for another person. Once you get comfortable, let's say it's a friend or a loved one, eventually you stop thinking of them as a stranger that you're trying to fool and instead a partner for you to go through all the motions. That's great, but understand, nothing counts until you encounter another person and you are playing chess with them. You see their eyes flick down to your fingers and burn your hands while you're trying to do the secret move, and that's when it happens. That's when you feel the pit of your stomach drop out, the adrenaline kicks in, and all kinds of physiological crazy stuff happens. Here's the important part. Don't think this is about you. Don't decide, oh, I'm scared or I'm nervous. You need to frame what's happening in biological terms. When you get an adrenaline rush, this means I care about what is happening. I understand the pressure is on, and you should be overjoyed that you are doing something that you love. That is a signal to you that you are having a blast. Make sure to frame it that way. There's 2 types of stress. There's eustress, like the excitement for graduation, and there's distress, like when you're being chased by a tiger. This is eustress, and it's important to remember that. Now, there are biological things that are going to start happening. You're gonna have blood vessels dilate, you're gonna have more blood go to your muscles, and a side effect of all that is you will get tremors in your fingers. That might be pretty inconvenient if you're doing a knuckle-busting move right there in that moment, which is why I always have 2 or 3 different routines I use as a cool-off period when that happens. I don't care how good a magician you are. When your hero shows up out of nowhere and says, "Show me a trick," you're gonna get that adrenaline rush and you're gonna wanna get those trembly fingers. And there are people for whom this is not a problem. You and me, we're in the same club. That's a big part of why I started doing stage magic, is I realized I could have the adrenaline rush and the trembly fingers and nobody could see. In a close-up environment, I might be 3 or 4 routines in, killing it with 2 or 3 people. Then all of a sudden they'll shout and a crowd will form around me. If I feel that adrenaline rush happening, that's when I hand them the deck and I do any number of routines that happen in their hands. All of a sudden it's just my job to talk them through the steps, to tell the story, maybe pass the cards around, get it together. It will not last forever. That's the important part. You just gotta burn 3 to 5 minutes of good material that doesn't involve them burning your hands, and you'll be back in form, in the groove, ready to do all of your best stuff. So in other words, don't be upset. Understand that's part of it, and it probably will never go away. Now here's something I never thought I was going to say. It might be worth it to try a meditation app like Headspace. They got the first 10 lessons for free. I'm not getting paid to say this, but they do such a good job of setting up the metaphors about not letting your brain run wild with thoughts. You can acknowledge something and let it go. You can realize that as tumultuous as it feels, like you're in an airplane shaking all around, just remember the blue skies are right overhead. When you start learning those skills to calm your mind, I found it's much easier to get through those flashes of anxiety. And again, they won't go away, but you'll understand them for what they are. You won't let them dominate you, and you'll understand that I only need to do A, B, and C to get back on track and get back to blowing everyone's mind. Hopefully that helped. Thank you for the question, Luo Pinto, and thank you to all of you guys over at reddit.com/r/magic. If you guys have a question out there in Scam Nation, hit me up at scamnationshow@gmail.com. I'll do my best to answer it right here. And of course, you guys should hang out with us in our Discord. What's the name of it? It's Scam Nation, right? Yeah, there's a link down below.